6 months from now, you'll either be proud of yourself or you'll be frustrated because how you handle money right now in the second half of the year will shape the next year of your life or maybe even the next 5. You could keep going as you are, just wishing and hoping and coasting and holding on to every dime because of the impending doom. Or you could choose to take control of your money and build a life your future self will be proud of. This is your official mid-year money reset. Let's make sure that you in December will be very proud of you right now. Hi, I'm Loveth, and this is Money Conversations, where we discuss all things personal finance, growing our wealth, and getting unstuck from whatever it is keeping us stuck. All right, let's talk about resetting our finances for the second half of the year. Of course, you can't get started until you figured out what held you back during the first half of the year. This is a good time to pause and reflect. I think I speak for everyone to say the last 6 months has just been chaos and just craziness economically, right? That did a good job in just making us feel like things were just out of our control. Have we let fear creep in and kept us from being in control of our finances? Have we given into retail therapy because we are all just stressed out? We are all psychologically stressed out. This is a good time to just pause, reflect, and figure out what kept you from doing what you intended to do. Figuring that out will set you up really good for the next 6 months because now you are aware and you put things in place to work against that, to keep that from happening the second half of the year. Now ask yourself, what is that 1 or 2 financial wins that would really change everything up by December? We all have so many goals, but what is that 1 or 2 major goal that should you achieve it by December, your life will be a lot different. You would be a lot more proud of yourself. And it would really set you up on a better footing by January 1st next year. What is that goal? The point here is clarity, right? We all have so many goals, but right now we're down to 6 months. We have limited time. And so a major way to ensure that you hit your goal by December is clarity. And the clarity here is narrowing it down to 1 or 2 major wins. Because if you haven't been on your goal, if you haven't been on your game the last 6 months, we have to be real with ourselves. We have to be honest with ourselves, right? We know we're not the best at sticking to plans. So let's clear out the noise. Let's clear out the distraction and laser focus on that 1 goal or 2 that should you get it done by December, oh, life will be a lot easier or a lot better. It would really put you on a better standing next year, January 1st next year. What is that goal? Now that you have the 1 or 2 goals in mind, let's lock it in. Let's put things in place to ensure that come December 31st, come rain, come shine, come breaking news, come whatever, you will hit the goal in December. A major way to do that is automation. For instance, if your goal is to increase your savings by $3,000, you are going to break it down to how much you need every single month to ensure that by December 31st, in 6 months, you would have $3,000 in your savings. If you break it down every month, it will cost you or you would need $500. And so the next step is to automate that $500 is diverted to your savings. Automation is a key way to ensure that regardless, come rain, come shine, come December 31st, your savings account will have 3,000. So automate having $500 transferred from your checking account to your savings, and then you work with what is left. Of course, after paying your bills, you have $500 diverted to your savings, and then you just have to adjust your living and your lifestyle to what you have left after that. Of course, these numbers could be too high or too low for your income. The point here is clarity. We are letting go of everything else, every other goal, and focusing on the 1 or 2 major goals we need to achieve by the end of the year. This is a good time to remind you of the reality of the time we're in right now. Of course, cost of living has gone up for everyone. Things cost more. So you have to be realistic with what your goal is, right? It has to be an achievable goal. You cannot just want to. We all want so many things. The key thing is, what can we achieve, right? So taking a look at your finances over the last 6 months, your expenses over what it costs you to live right now with today's expenses, the cost of groceries, your rent, all that. What can you realistically set aside for that goal? Whatever the goal is, it could be, to pay down debt, to increase your investment, whatever it is. Be realistic with how much you can actually put towards that goal, and then automate. You have to set up automation to have that money transferred every single month without you doing anything. Put something in motion to ensure that regardless of what we do, it's passively getting done. This is also a good time to find hidden money. You've been you over the last 6 months. You've been doing you over the last 6 months. Take a look at your expenses and find where you can actually get your money back, right? Because like I said, I think we can all speak for everyone to say it's been a crazy 6 months. If you've been awake, if you've been awake, it's been a crazy 6 months. And we've all, in a way, I think a lot of us have been carried away just because we're coasting and we're trying to just breathe and make sense of life, of the world. What the right? So this is a good time to take a look at our expenses and look at where we have hidden money. I mentioned earlier putting away $500 towards your savings. And I know a lot of us are probably going, well, if it were that easy, don't you think I would be channeling $500 to my savings? You think I just have 500 laying around? And rightfully so, because I hate when people do that. To save 10,000 by the end of the year, just transfer $1,000 every week. And it's like, oh, you think we just have $1,000 laying around, right? So it's very common and expected for us to think we don't have any money, we don't have any extra, things are so expensive and eating up. But take a look at your money. Take a look at how you've been spending over the last 6 months. You could probably find an extra 200 that you've been spending on things that you don't really need. Now, I'm always an advocate for a good time, but there's a limit to a good time when you're trying to hit your financial goal, right? Because the December you will be proud of the you who lived within what you had left over after moving $500 away, than the you who kept, having a good time, right? And the wise one can figure out how to have a good time with what you have left over after you've diverted money to your savings. So take a look at your expenses over the last 6 months. And you could actually figure out how much you've been spending on the extras and have that amount of money diverted towards your goal, whatever your goal is. Now ask yourself, if laziness and fear weren't a factor, what would be different? Because a lot of us can probably monetize something, right? So ask yourself, what could I do if fear weren't holding me back? Or if laziness wasn't holding me back, what could I monetize? What action, what activity, what skill can I monetize that would eventually bring in money? Especially if this is one of your major goals, which is to maybe have another income stream. Fear and laziness can do a number, can do a number on that. And remember, everything starts out small, right? It's not, most of the time, it never starts off and boom, you start making money, it's a hit. Everything starts out small. Heck, you start now, and now you give yourself time to make the mistakes, to build momentum, to get to your audience or get to your customers, whatever line of work you're looking at or whatever it is you're looking at doing. It will take time, right? And time will pass regardless. So you might as well get started now. So you use this next 6 months to get your training wheels on and to work with your training wheels so that come January next year, you're way ahead of a starter. You're not starting in December. Come January next year, you've done the mistakes and you now have momentum going because you've gotten past the I just started, right? So what is it that you could do, or what is it that you could become if you do not let fear or laziness win over this next 6 months? Think about that and then get started. Whatever it is, get started. It's never going to be perfect. Heck, no one started off perfectly. No one started off any business, any side hustle, any job perfectly. Think of when you started your job, right? When you were a newbie at your job, you were horrible. you, you weren't horrible, but think of how it was. You were so unsure of yourself. It was one step at a time, one day at a time. So whatever it is that you were looking at or you've been thinking about doing to increase your income stream or to diversify your income stream, Start now. Get started. Don't let fear or laziness win over this next 6 months. It's been winning over the last few years. Like I said, time keeps moving regardless of what you do. Your action or inaction, December 31st will still show up. So the question is, will you be happy with yourself? Will the you in December be happy with yourself for trying and for making moves? Or would you be disappointed in yourself for not doing what you set out to do yet again? Remember, it's not about perfection, it's about progress. It's better to have tried and failed than to not try at all and be disappointed in yourself for not doing again what you said you would do. That's such a painful feeling. Let me know in the comment section what 1 or 2 goals you are working towards this year. I would like to know. And if you've enjoyed this video, or if this has really motivated you to get going, if this is giving you tools to take a second jab at that goal for the second half of the year, then do me a favor and hit the like button. All right. In the next video, I will discuss with you ways to ensure that you actually put your money to use, especially if you're one of those who you make good money, but you have nothing to show for it. In the next video, we'll discuss how to put this in place to ensure that your money is actually working for you. And if that's your cup of tea, then go ahead and subscribe so it shows up on your feed. All right. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.